Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. And this is answering your financial questions live with Coach Steve Money. I am Coach Steve Money, a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. As usual, waiting for YouTube to catch up. Okay, and it seems like it's fine. Give it a little bit more room for my head there. Alrighty. It seems like it seems fine. I do have a fan next to me running at full blast, but I do have for you nerds out there, I do have what is it? It's a filter, and it is called noise suppression. And that, of course, is that's not something where you set a level on, but I guess it picks it out, and it knows that that's not me talking, and me talking is the important thing. Alrighty, so let's get going here. And now I'm on the right page. Alrighty, and again, youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney is the page for my financial content. Just scroll past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlists, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show, and that's the show I do right after the Ramsey Show ends, which, as of about a month and a half ago, that ends up being 11:07 a.m. Somewhere in there, as the third hour also returns to YouTube. Previously, it was on at 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. And video has not been live for 4 years. And so, but my work schedule now, sometimes I work in the mornings, and so then can't do an after show. But that evening, I will normally do an evening stream, which is the Answering Your Financial Questions one. And between the two, we have what, 560, and this is 147. So you do the math on that. That is, what is that? My goodness gracious me, that is over 700 hours of me talk, because they're all at least an hour long. And I know one time I did go 3 hours. That was crazy, or just about 3 hours. Anyway, let's get into some questions. After I make sure I can see the chat, just in case anybody is watching. Much appreciated if you're watching now live, or if you're doing it later, as most views do happen later. Dirka Fish 1. Seeking guidance. All right. Did not clean my glasses. Seeking guidance. We currently own 2 homes in Colorado. One is a rental property in the metro area that is old, but is in a great location. Justification station there, maybe. We had to put a decent amount of money in it recently. Roof, patio, crawl space. Okay, and if you did that with cash, fabulous. If you did that with a HELOC or any other type of loan, not fabulous. We currently live in 2.8 thousand square feet home in a suburb outside of Denver, and that's not cheap either. And if that house was not paid for, hey, guess what? There's no rental property for you in the Ramsey advice. We are looking to move to a new state in which we'd like to buy a home with some land. Price range $700,000 to $800,000. It doesn't say what their 2 homes are, so you would sell both of those homes. We're looking to move to, because you're moving out of state, and you don't want to pay somebody else to manage your rental, because that takes too big of a hit out of your too big of a percentage out of your profit. And again, you would not have mortgages on either of these. because your mortgage would be paid off on your residence before you would buy some rental property. And the rental property, since that's a business thing, that is totally in cash. No mortgages on anything or loans on anything business. See, a lot of people just won't do that because they don't want to wait till they have the money. They don't want to wait. They want to do it right now, so you got to do it with loans. And that's not the Ramsey advice. We've got around 300 plus K in investments. You would not touch retirement. To do that, if they are in a brokerage account, you're on step 7, you got a brokerage account, then fine, touch it. Our current combined income is 260K. Maintaining properties is hard. Oh, you think? That's why everybody should not be doing that. What is that? Oh, a shopping cart. Sorry. Saw a squirrel. Had to react to it. Oh, I forgot. I opened this already because I saw that it was bigger than the allotted space on the main page. Maintaining properties is hard, especially with young kids. Indeed it is. And that's a good reason to sell it. Sell both of them if you are moving. Question is, should we sell our homes here and have plenty for a down payment along with a nice investment chunk and lose those assets? Or should we take out some investments for a down payment and keep the homes in Colorado as rental properties? No, 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 no. We'd have to hire a management company, right? Since we'd be in a different state. Any advice would be appreciated. So you see, your financial bro advice is generally going to be, oh, you never sell real estate. It's too valuable. And they also find with you debt leveraging, not paying things off such as your mortgage, to keep investments. And so no, non-retirement investments, that is. And so you don't tap the retirement investments, but if you have additional investments, see, additional investments other than the 15% of gross income do not exist in Ramsey world until you are in step 7 and the residence is paid off. And so you're talking about getting a new mortgage and keeping investments that aren't retirement. That's going to be a NAR, as my friends in Australia might say. So yeah, that'd be sell both, and put as much down on the house as you can. And if you can buy it completely in cash, that is the first advice always. And oh look, a locked post. It must have gotten contentious in there. From Lick My Phoebus. All right, I don't know what that is. Not going to Google that either. Withdrawal from my 401k to be debt free, and that's a no. As I said previously, you would not touch retirement in this case. You don't touch retirement in any case except to retire. Somebody edited it. 100% going with option 2. I didn't grow up with smart financial advice, so while I figured it was the right option, I just needed some confirmation, reassurance, I guess. Everybody knows the right answer. Everybody knows, because a whole bunch of these says, I know Dave says blah, blah, blah. That's always the right answer. Let's just take a look at and see what some of this stuff is. Hi everyone, hi guys. I'm in a bit of dilemma, and not really, you knew the answer already, and would really appreciate some advice from those who have been in similar situation. Here's the backstory. You also don't need to be in a similar situation. You just need to be familiar with the Ramsey advice, which you can be if you watch the show every weekday, or just about every weekday, or if you read the Ramsey Solutions books from the personalities. I recently received a VA disability rating that gives me an extra $2,000 per month. Thanks for your service. I wasn't planning on this windfall, and I'm now trying to figure out the best way to use it to get debt free. Well, you would send it all to the debt. A lot of people are dumb and they don't know math, and yet they're trying to be math whizzes or something like that with their finances. But so you see, if you don't put it all to debt, then it takes longer to get out of debt. The situation, credit card, American Express card with the, yeah, see, there's no credit cards also in the Ramsey plan. In Ramsey world, no credit cards. 401k, you would not touch that again. 2000 from my VA disability rating is my new monthly bonus. I can use that for debt repayment. Yes, all of it. The problem when I signed up for the Amex card, I was pretty immature and didn't fully understand how dangerous high interest credit cards could be. Well, I wonder what you should have said, some dumb crap that you bought with it. That would have been fun. I've now grown and am committed to paying off my debt for good and never using the card again. Great. My main question is, should I use my 401k NAR or should I use the $2,000 a month to aggressively pay down the balance instead? What I'm considering, so you already gave the two options in this. You don't need to redo it with option 1 and option 2. But that isn't even the totality of the advice. So you don't use just the $2,000 a month to aggressively pay it off. You also use any cent you have left over after necessary expenses. And so you're not eating out, you're sending that money to the debt to pay off the debt. You're not going on vacation. You're not doing anything fun that costs money. There's plenty of fun things that don't cost money. I mean, you can put a little bit of fun money into your budget. You should be budgeting. If you're not, that's part of baby step 0. And so you should be budgeting, and you can put a little bit of fun money in there, but it should be minimal until you're on step 4. Also should not be investing. Investing should not be part of your deal here until you are on step 4. That means you do not have any debt, and you do not have any non-mortgage debt, and you do have the full emergency fund. So let's see, the option 1, just in case he says something different here, or she, pay off the credit card with my 401k. That's a NAR and penalties and taxes, and that's why that's a NAR, my friend. My thinking is it's one less thing to worry about, and I'd be debt-free immediately. Well, that's dumb thinking. And also, since money is a behavior thing, those quick fixes like that, while fixing the problem, but losing the 10% penalty and the income. Oh, it's a 401k, so you got to pay income taxes on every bit of gains that you draw as well. So that's too much money to be losing, and so that's why the Ramsey advice is to not touch the retirement, and you just sacrifice and do without stuff while you're paying off your debt. Option 2, use $2,000 a month, pay it on the credit card. Yep. Debt growing quickly, so I want to eliminate it as fast as possible, but I also don't want to jeopardize my retirement. Yeah. And just restating it right here. And so, again, you don't limit yourself, and people get into this thing where they just think weirdly for some reason. And, you know, it's second nature to me, of course, being so into the Ramsey advice, being a financial coach. And so, you know, certified by Ramsey Solutions. And so we know that, but other people don't think like that, but I don't even understand why it wouldn't even cross your mind. Oh, you know, some people get locked in. Oh, I get $2,000 a month now. Okay, so I can put that as extra. You can put more than that as extra to the debt. You can pay it off even faster. Now you have a disability. Maybe there's something else you have. Maybe something else that you can do as far as a little bit of work to bring in some extra money and get that debt paid off faster and that full emergency fund in place faster. Also, now if you have a 401k, chances are you have other savings of some type, and I wonder how much of that you should have. Let's check the baby steps here. It says step 1, save $1,000 for your start emergency fund. It doesn't say to save 1 extra cent beyond $1,000 until the non-mortgage debt is paid off in step 2, and then that's when you save 3 to 6 months of expenses. So all of that would go to it as well. And so this is what you gotta watch out for, is because people will think like that, and they will say, oh, well, $2,000 is what I'm being given extra by the government. No, you can use extra money from other sources as well, and you darn well should. All right, next one. Baby kitty burrito. Alrighty. I feel like that wouldn't taste that good. 10K plus upside down on car. More to it. Also locked up. People are getting crazy in the comments, I guess, here on these with the differences. You're going to have the financial bros giving their side, the haters, as it would. And why even go on a hater subreddit? Why would you even do that? Why would you even be a hater? That's dumb as crap. What a waste of time. Find something you like and do that. Good example is the Oak Island subreddit. And that's all haters. Just about, I think, just about. Like the big, like 95% probably. They're all haters and they don't like it. But why are you investing so much time in something you don't like? That is dumb as crap. All right, let's see. 10K upside down on my car. Got you. Actually, plus. A little bit more than 10K, sounds like. I know it's a bad idea to take out my 401k early. Okay, so right there, again, people are nutty. You said you know it's a bad idea. Nothing that you type after the word but is going to change that fact. Quit being a dumbass. I'm a single mom. Single moms can be dumbasses too. Limited to work a second job since my support system is slim. Son's dad's alcoholic, inconsistent. Yep. And my son's dad just got fired again, and I am negative money every month. All right. I've only been able to afford life living off lump sums I've made as a teacher, extra duties, teaching summer school, tax returns. Well, you can see if you can change your withholding so they give you more money back on each check instead of all after you file taxes in April or before April. So you can do that, because you can do better with your money throughout the year rather than the government having it. You're giving the government an interest-free loan by having them take out too much. So you can adjust your W-4 form with the school and get more of your money back instead of having big returns every year. Well, my unit of summer school for July got cut as well, so I'm out $3,500 and will only be able to make it without my son's dad a limited time. Even then, I'm still negative. The root cause is my car payment and debt. And this is why you should not have car payment or car debt, because when crap like this happens, it destroys your world. And so if you didn't have debt on those, it would still suck, but maybe it wouldn't destroy your world. And that's what debt and payments do. So that's why don't do those. Is the Ramsey advice. My car's a used 2017 CRV with 62 miles on it. So it's decent, but not really worth what I'm paying. As I found out at Honda yesterday when trying to refinance and they tried to sell me a new car. Yeah, that's not how you do it. You sell it and you buy a beater cash for that. Of course, you would have to borrow the 10K, but that's better than however many K you have on it. Doesn't say what it's worth, I don't think. No. Yeah, 608 and got, and this is, again, this is why I don't see anything about ex-husband here too. This is why you do not shack up and have babies with people you are not married to. Not advised, because it can go just like this. So doing that, and also the debt and debt payments, effectively they are screwing you over. And so not worth it to get whatever you get for financing. Rent $14.90 for a 2/1 in Central Florida. Just moved in recently and want to stay. There's actually a good price for my area. Justification station. If you can move somewhere cheaper, move. But you probably signed up for a, if you just move, if you signed a 12-month lease, then it probably is going to cost you to break the lease, etc., etc. But so that was dumb doing that as well. So buying too much house, spending too much on housing is not advised either by Mr. Ramsey. See, he's thought of everything. You just need to listen to him in advance of doing all this dumb stuff. But people don't. People aren't even aware that that's a thing because of all the credit card commercials and all the car commercials and the Instagram showing everybody with a new car that they are most likely in debt on. So it's a false narrative. 608, but it does include packages I probably should have said no to. Yeah, so get rid of those now if you can. Get rid of those now if you can. Car insurance, yeah, had a car accident last year, so it got raised. Yep. All of this combines together to messing your life up for sure. 80 to 100 on electric. You can try to lower electric costs. Florida is warm, I believe. Of course, we were at 93 a little bit earlier today. Now it's 90 in the great state of Ohio. So I feel you on that. Cat stuff, $50. What kind of cat stuff? The cat needs to eat, and I think that's it. Does not need a new toy every month. So that should just be food. I don't know. What else would that be? Vet maybe included? I don't know. Daycare, $560. Yeah, not cheap, but that's not bad for a month. Assuming this is monthly. Gash, 120-ish. I work 40 minutes away. Oh, I have a great idea. Instead of renting that crappy place that you did, that you love so much, that costs so much money, maybe you live closer to that place, but maybe those things are higher. I don't know. That area might be higher. Phone, none right now, but after about a year, it'll be 35. Okay. Interesting. No phone. What happened to the phone? Trying to get off the grid. Student loan, none, but eventually we'll pay 30-ish a month. Okay, so has the student loan, so that makes it even worse. Even worse. So everything you're doing is bad. Wi-Fi, 93 seems like a lot. Netflix, that's going to be a no. Instead of that, you spend your time thinking about ways to make extra money. Hulu is a no. You spend your extra time. Spotify, no. You can go on the YouTube and listen to music that way, or find any other, or have a free Spotify account. That's no, no, no on that. Union dues, I understand you got to pay that. Personal loan 1 and 2, you got to pay your minimums. Yeah, 140, yeah. City card payment, $20.80. Target card payment. So you got all the cards. So you were just dumb as heck. Food, $300 for me and a 4-year-old a month. I feel like for me, if there's any eating out on that, you need to cut that out, obviously. But I feel like for me, you could cut that down, even if it's just a little bit. Try to get it down to $250. How about that? Grand total is $37.89, not includes student. Right. Without my son's dad help at all. I mean, he can't do anything if he's not working. And so you can try to put the heat on him through the courts. But again, this is why you do not have babies with people that you are not married to. So even more negative. Yeah. So you have to find other ways of getting money and cut all of this. If it's not 100, including all these subscriptions, if it's not 100 100% necessary to live, you cut it out. The Wi-Fi, if that's your only option for internet, I'll let that one go. But the rest of it, no. And you sell that car and you buy yourself a beater. If somebody will lend you the 10 plus K thousand that you are upside down on it. For example, you get a $15,000 loan, but of course didn't say how much is left on the car though. It's 2017, so it was well, I don't know, might have bought it used already. So, but it just depends on what it's worth, and what you can sell it for. But you would have to. But again, see, if it's $20,000, Dave is fine with you getting a $15,000 loan to get rid of it. But when you're talking about a difference of $5,000, the payments, etc., might not be that different. So it just depends on that. I make 33.69. So, you know, I mean, I got a great idea. Why don't you cut out some of the expenses that aren't 100% necessary, as I previously suggested. So I want to tackle the car loan and the rest of the debts of $65K, my 401K. Nope, don't cash it out. Nope. Too much in penalties and interest. Yeah, I mean penalties, and you have to pay income tax on all the gains, and this is why we do Roth 401k, so that you don't have to do that. Of course, you do have to be retirement age to not have to do that, but that's where it should stay until retirement. Everything else you work out, and you don't be dumb and do all this stuff. So maybe, hopefully going forward, you won't do any more financing or having babies with people you're not married to. Not advised. Where's the car? Where's the car? It still doesn't say how much the car is. My claim was to either pay off my car completely and all the debt using the 401k money. Nope. Cut off the cards, yes. Budget with the plus 400 I'd have without my son's dad help. Yeah, we got it. That's not an option, apparently. So, again, at some point, you need to stop complaining about it and do what you can do. Do what you can control. And stow away some in savings. If no, you get $1,000 in savings on baby step one. You don't get any more than that. It doesn't matter if you have a baby or not. Pay off all the debt with 401k mode. Again, that's a no. Trade my car in for a cheaper one. No, you don't trade it. You just sell it private sale and buy another one private sale. That way you get the money difference in your favor. You do not involve a dealership, because guess what? They don't do that for free. They like to make money. So they are going to pay you less than you could sell it for private sale. So we got so many ors. File bankruptcy. I don't think you're bankrupt. I think you need to stop being stupid. Let them take my car. Doing repo or something like that. That's going to be the most expensive way for you to get rid of that car. You need to take matters into your own hands and do it. You don't cash out the 401k. At some point, you got to stop the idiocy. Mind you, the 401k was from when I was 18, 25. It's fine. Been teaching retirement that has 31k in it. It will continue to grow, and I plan to retire from teaching. I've never planned to get in this hole again. Yeah, I hope not. Nightmare and want better for my son. Thoughts and ideas. I knew all of my ideas are dumb, need guidance. Thank you. Okay. There you go. So, knows it's dumb. So you got to not do it anymore. And right now, you're going to have to do things that are not comfortable. You're going to have to sacrifice. And that would be all the subscriptions. Bye. Bye-bye. And that is only what? 25 plus 26 there and 9. So close to $37 a month. That's only $37 a month. But anything, you're looking for anything extra right now to do that. And plus you got student loans on top of that that you're going to have to fix later, even though you don't have to pay anything on them now. So yeah, that it's very sad. It's very sad. That's why you shouldn't allow yourself to get into positions like these. The_legend 2523 investment / retirement / saving strategy while in the military. All right, so as I love to say, you guys know I love to say it, your little situation, and I'm minimizing it because it is minimal. It doesn't matter anything you type doesn't change the Ramsey advice. So this is the basically the the major tenets of the Ramsey advice, the baby steps right here. Okay. And there's not anything that you type in your little question or have in your little situation that changes this advice. It's always going to be this exact order. Step 1, 2, and 3, one at a time. Don't even think about doing higher steps. You do this one first, and then you start on the paying off the debt, step 2. And only then do you save 1 penny past $1,000. In step 3 and steps 4, 5, and 6, you do all at the same time, these 3 at the same time, if applicable to your little situation. See, that's when it does matter, because like if you don't have kids, then step 5 you just get to skip it. The best step I think to be able to skip would be step 2, meaning you were never dumb enough to finance anything. I wasn't. I was dumb. That's how I can recognize it so easily. But yeah, you being in the military changes nothing. Oh, and I forgot my point of going to this. If you have some kind of emergency, okay, that's called storm mode, and you pause the baby steps. Don't worry. Whatever step you're on, it'll still be there waiting for you when you get back to it. As far as debt, say you're on step 2, you still have to make minimum payments to that, but you don't send extra. Any extra money, you just pile up. The same for stork mode. That means if you are pregnant or your spouse is pregnant, you would just pile up cash until mom and baby are safe, home safe from the hospital. And then hopefully you didn't have to use any of that pile of cash, and then you just throw it to the baby steps, however far it gets you on the baby steps. So the military has nothing to do. Thanks for your service, obviously. 25 man in the Navy, stationed in Hawaii. Not cheap there. Been here 4.5, but they pay for everything, don't they? Been here 4.5 years, have 3.5 more left here. That's 8 years back. Interesting. But they could always move him, right? I don't. It's not a law that you get to stay in Hawaii the whole time. And that's why you don't buy houses if you're in the military like that. I don't plan on buying a house here as it's stupid expensive, and I don't plan on staying. Good, excellent idea. You live on base if they let you, and let them pay for it. Of the past few years, I've been maxing out my Roth IRA and TSP, thrift savings plan, like government, 401k. Yep. Max contributions, 23K. I got about 120K between the two. I also have a brokerage invested in an ETF worth about 115K, and do not do index funds. You're leaving money on the table doing that, but because that's the main thing: investment, retirement, saving. My question is, I'm planning on buying a house for the mainland after I get out, and was wondering if it was better to keep maxing out my retirement, to keep saving up and investing money for a house. I wouldn't stop putting money in retirement, just taking some of the money towards my TSP and buying ETFs, mutual funds, for a larger down payment on a house so I can pay it off quicker. Any strategies, advice would be appreciated. Added, I have no debt, no wife, no kids, make 106K a year gross. Well, great. So what you can do is you can stop completely with, this is the one time that you get to decide something with the Ramsey advice other than whether to follow it or not. So you're following the Ramsey advice. So the the thing between step 3 and step 4, or or just with step 4 and step 3B rather, which is not on this list. But step 3B is if you do not have a house already, that's where you would start saving for the down payment. And so if you stop investing at all, you can go down to 0% for up to 2 years. Dave's fine with it. And so that way you can save up a bigger down payment faster, which of course a lot of people need to do in Hawaii because that's a very high cost of living state. And so you got to be making buku bucks for that, and you got to have a big down payment to be able to get that down to 25% of your take-home pay, that mortgage payment. So that's how you do that. And so, but that's up to you. You can invest, like for example, if you had a 401k match, you could do just up to the match. So you get the match, and all the rest of the money you could put in step 3B, the house down payment. But yeah, so that's great. And you would not be, the problem is, let's see, how much more? 3.5 more left here. So you don't have enough time to use the market like a piggy bank. You have to have 5 years. So if you only have 3.5 years or so, or even 4 years before you're going to buy a house, that's all you have. You have to have at least 5 years to use it as a piggy bank because the market could be down at that time. It has much, much, much less of a chance of being down after any 5-year period. And so that's what the Ramsey advice is on that. So, but anything that's not in retirement, you would cash that out and use that as part of the down payment as well. No getting a higher mortgage to keep investments in, other than, of course, the retirement accounts. The tax advantage retirement accounts would be the only one. Brokerage accounts, you would empty all of that and put that on the house. So yeah, military, nothing to do with it. But again, thanks for your service very, very much. Oh, that's right. Now just move that so I can go like that. There we go. Now we're back. Ramsey YouTube jump scare ads. This is from Thirsty Aquil UM. Hello everyone, hi guys. I hope this is an appropriate forum to post this concern. Oh, you can post anything mods let you post, which apparently they have. This was 8 days ago. My main course of Ramsey content is through YouTube for years, in capital letters. I've enjoyed the information and high quality YouTube videos of clips from the Ramsey show. Oh, just clips? No, if you got ads, you must be doing that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe on clips, I guess it probably has an ad too. However, a couple months ago, they started embedding sponsor ads in the middle of videos. Yeah. Let me be clear. Ramsey has created their own ads, and they have made them part of the video. Yes. That means it's part of the presentation. You don't get any option out of those. But the worst part is they embed their ads in the middle of a conversation. I call them jump scare ads because you don't see them coming. At this point, if you are upset about them enough to post on the internet about it, you know they're coming. So simmer down with the saying it's a toxic situation. Simmer down with the exaggeration was the word I was looking for. What's worse is they completely disrupt the flow of conversation. These Trump's jump scare ads sent the quality of the, all right, well, you don't like it, that's fine, but you don't get I tend to worry less about things that I can control. Try to anyway. These jump scare ads have sent quality videos into the toilet, in your opinion. I can't believe Dave has resorted to such a shameless practice. Well, that's the situation. See, what you have to do is, and this is high on the list of my advice, you see, like imagine in reality being right in front of you there. What you do is you embrace the reality of the situation. And quit whining about stuff and just don't watch it anymore. If you don't like, if it's that bad that you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But you typing this isn't going to change anything. Mr. Ramsey is not on some board that has to answer to whoever. It doesn't work like some companies. And you know, and you even have some companies that decide, oh, for at least for a minute, until it affects their bottom line so much that they want to be activists, as political activists as well. And so he doesn't have to do that. He's the owner of the company. There's no stock, there's no board, and so he gets to decide what's going on there. And if you don't like it, you can opt out of watching. I'm about ready to unsubscribe. Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Most of y'all don't know me. How would anybody know you? I haven't seen this, you know, I mean, maybe a troll that changes and has so many different usernames on every platform, including YouTube and the Reddit. But I've never seen that name before. So y'all don't know what a huge deal that would be for me. Okay, well, I mean, you get to make the choice. If it's that bad, you don't want to watch it, just stop and unsubscribe. Knock yourself out. Nobody cares. That's okay. I was wondering if anyone else as know as I am. What if we try to petition? You can try whatever you want. Waste of time though. Or what if a huge group of us got together and unsubscribed all at once? Yeah, nice try, but that's not gonna bother Mr. Ramsey either. Something to get Ramsey's attention. Does anyone else have any ideas about how we can encourage Ramsey to stop this shameless practice? No. 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 Hey, guess what? There's ads in other people's content that you watch as well. Why are you focusing on Mr. Ramsey? So yeah, I would, if I didn't like it, I would just, again, not subscribe to it and not watch it. That's controlling what you can control. You trying to control what Mr. Ramsey decides to do, or what is, you know, revenue generating people is the people that decide such things have done it with his blessing. So it's not like he's not aware of it. I'm sure he's aware of everything that goes on there. And so that's cute if you want to try a little petition or not, but this is a private company. He can do what he darn well pleases. And guess what? If I had a company that was similar, I would want to do what I darn well pleased as well, and I wouldn't give a crap about any one person or even a group of a few people that would want me to change something. I don't care about you. But this is the times that we're in now, where you have people that think that them shaking their head. You think anybody's shaking your head? Or they pronounce something as what's it called? As cringe? Who cares if you think it's cringe? No, that's just your little opinion. And yes, I'm minimizing it again. That's great if you can get some people up and start a group and do the petition and all that. Not going to change anything. Waste of time. And guess what? If you want to get, you know, make some kind of change in something, I'm sure you could find something way more important than the Ramsey show ads. But that's just me. Pay or not to pay, no box 1862. If you're traveling with your spouse's family and the siblings choose to split the cost of their parents' expenses, such as nights, as flights, hotels, meals, and activities, that generally considered acceptable. You make the money, you can do whatever you want with it. If you're doing that on step 2, that would not jive with the Ramsey advice. Or is it more appropriate for the parents to cover all their own pensions in these situations? It can be anything. I don't think there's a thing where it's not acceptable or inappropriate or something like that. This, again, is about you thinking weird, in my opinion. Anytime we go out, dinners, or activities, there's always an expectations for the siblings to pay for the parents when they both work. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a sign of respect, whatever, especially in non-American cultures. A lot of those, they have, way, way too much respect for the parents, and that includes paying for stuff. And so, but it's fine. It's fine. Anything, you can put anything you want in your budget. It is fine. You can do that. As far as the acceptable or what's appropriate. So what the person didn't say here, I feel like for me, it's like, I don't want to do it, is the point here. So, and if you don't want to do it and all your siblings do that, but then that's going to be hard feelings between family members. And see, this is why you don't involve money stuff with family members ever. Any kind of money stuff, no, 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 no. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Paging Dr. Cloud, paging Dr. Cloud. Maybe I can say it. Henry Cloud wrote a book called Boundaries, and this is exactly what this is about. And that means your parents don't get a say in your finances. And guess what? Neither do your sisters and brothers. You are the one that decides that. It doesn't matter if all of them, I don't care if it's 10 of them, and they're going to pay it, and you're the 11th kid, and you don't want to, then you don't have to. So, and people, I mean, what this is trying to get around it. A lot of spouses do that, where they try to fix things and work around the spouse, especially like a spouse that's not on board the Ramsey train, as it were. But they try to fix it. So, and that also happens in a lot of calls where the person that has run up the debt, they try to fix it rather than even let the spouse know. And so, but yeah, this is just you trying to work around saying that you don't want to pay it. I think. Not 100% sure. I don't know. I can't read minds, but I do know people in general. No reputation, 2277. Crumb, fast forward through an ad there, 20 seconds. Yep. Can do that. Crumb, they just can't do that. They have to turn it into the end of the world, ladies and gentlemen. No reputation, 2277. And that's an auto loan. I wonder what they could be saying about this. And that's going to be a no per the Ramsey advice automatically. That's no. Cars, everything except a mortgage for a house that you live in is done with cash only. So let's see what their little situation is that they think they're different, or they're not even concerned about the Ramsey advice at all. They just want somebody to agree with them, maybe. Let's see. As the team typically suggests, I try to get approved for a personal loan. What team? Oh, the difference. Okay, yeah, for the difference. Okay, yeah, that is what the team typically suggests. Like always. A smaller personal loan than the larger car loan is always advised. That way you get rid of the payment for that and the overall amount of debt, and you do have to pay off the personal loan, but that is like putting a big chunk on it. Of course, you don't get to keep the vehicle that way. Anyway, rolled negative equity into my current loan, and of course, as you probably know by now, that was dumb as crap. And was denied because of my credit score. All right. Yeah. The credit union said that as a backup plan, I can talk to their collections department in-house about a payment plan for the difference. You can also try going to another bank. People are nutty when they try one place to do one thing. Or like they get one estimate from a roofer, just one, or from a car repair place. They just get one estimate. That's dumb, because that person could be overcharging you. And the credit union might not give you a loan for that, but another bank or something might. I do plan to talk to them to hear the offer of a way out of this car payment. I don't feel good about that because it's a collections department. So, I mean, I don't know if that's who you have the auto loan with now or not. And so that's probably not gonna, if you've been paying it on time, the minimum payment, they don't have any reason to settle with you for less or to try to help you out in any way. That's not their business. Their business is to sell cars. And they make more from the financing than they do from selling the car. Saving up for a 2 to 3K truck after I can get this taken care of. Any advice on baby step 2, trying to get out of my absurd truck payment? Yeah. Check another bank, another lending institution. Try that instead of going to just your credit union, which may or may not be the who holds the loan for the vehicle. Ornery problem 387, car purchase quest. Good evening, all. Here we go. Again, they always know. They always know already. I know how Dave feels about financing a vehicle. Yes, and I just said so for the other person. Your little situation doesn't change it. Thankfully, I've saved enough money to purchase a vehicle outright in the Central Florida area. The price of late model used Hondas and Toyotas with less than 40,000 miles or within 3 to 8K of a new 2025 vehicle, depending on trim level. This is particularly true of the CR-V and RAV4. I don't give a crap. Maybe you don't get to have a Honda or a Toyota. I don't have one. Guess what? Works fine. I am going to purchase one of these compact SUVs. However, according to a recent Bankrate article, the average price difference between new and used is 5K. The reason is lack of supply of late model used vehicles. This is one of the leftover effects of the COVID economy. Not wanting to trust the Bankrate article, yeah, which you shouldn't do. And my advice would be then maybe you're paying too much for the vehicle overall, and maybe you don't get a Honda. Where are we doing that? Keyboard research. I did price searches on 3 for both new and used vehicles, and then compared them to a reference 2022 vehicle with no more than 30K miles. The result, Bankrate couldn't have been more spot on if they tried. Also, if you only checked used vehicles from the dealership, then you're dumb as crap as well. A 2025 well-equipped RAV4 listed for 36.5K. Especially depending on if you're on baby step 2, that's way too much car for you to be buying anyway. I've always believed if it makes sense to purchase a new vehicle due to depreciation. However, when the average difference in price between new and used is 5K, does that change the calculus? What say you? I say no. I say you're full of crap. You don't only have to get a Honda or a Toyota. Okay? Also, you don't say if you check private sale. You need to check private sale. You get a better deal than the dealer, and maybe the Bankrate article and your research only check dealers, so that means it's incomplete research. So, and you can do dumb stuff if you want to. If you're on step 7, you can buy a new car as well, but it does have to be with cash. So, but there's no financing. So I didn't see anything else about financing in here, but I feel like for me, again, because I know people trying to finesse it so that, well, because Dave's wrong about this thing about getting used vehicles as opposed to new, then also he's wrong financing. So I can not only get a new vehicle, I can also finance it as well. Hey, you can do whatever the dumbass crap you want to do with your own money in life. That's fine. You don't need to run it by Dave Ramsey's advice or by people on Reddit. You don't have to. You can do dumb crap all on your own. Trust me. I didn't get any help making my dumb money decisions. So you don't need it either. Sugar. Car total, need to purchase car. Oh, a lot about cars today. Contest interesting 21 or contest interesting. Car total, need to purchase car. Looking for, no, we got more. Looking for any tips on my car situation. Thanks. Last week I was rear-ended and ended up in the ER. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. The theme to ER when something like that. I'll be okay, but my car is a goner. Well, that is the preferred thing, to total the car and not yourself. That is the preferred thing. I expect to get around 8 to 10K for the car from insurance, injuries to be determined. Okay. This came out of nowhere, and I haven't been specifically saving for another car, nor would you be if you're on, say, step 1 or step 2. Oh, I have $60,000 in emergency fund, which covers more than 6 months realistically. So you see, so you shouldn't have that much in there. So that would have been applied to investing if you're not investing 15%, save for kid college, and paying off your mortgage if you have one. The kid college thing, of course, is if you have kids too. You do not do that step until then. Option 1, buy another similar car at 18K, which I'd eventually replace. Probably the responsible option. Hey, guess what? Whatever car you get, unless you're going to die in 10 years, you're probably going to have to eventually replace it either. So quit that dumbass justification station phrasing there. I would pull out 20K from my emergency fund and get a car I won't plan to replace for 10 years. Yeah, you need to get away from that replace language because that's you justifying doing it. What I actually want to do. Option 2B, this is not what Dave would do. It could do half and half in finance. Yeah, you're dumb as crap. Which I could pay it off in probably 5 months. My job is stable, no debt, other than a mortgage. Yeah, so you would not have you shouldn't have that extra money anyway. But you do need a car, so if you want to use some of the emergency fund to buy a cheap car, then yes, you can. Buy the similar one at 8 to 10, okay? Got that, because that still probably leaves you with a 6-month emergency fund. And then also get you a car. And so you don't even have to replace that money in the emergency fund since you have over emergency funded. Edit, even if I bought a 30, 35 car, I'd be under Dave's 50% of income cap. That's fine, but that's a no. That's a no. You just want to. That's not going to be the advice. You just want to do that. That's all. So, and you're not in a position to do that because you do have to do that with cash that not is your emergency fund. But you have too much in the emergency fund, so you could use some of it. The 8 to 10K is fine. If you have, you can figure out what 6 months is realistically and cut your emergency fund to that and then spend every cent of that on a used car. I don't have any problem with that at all. But you being a dumbass and trying to buy a bigger car and lowering your emergency fund or even financing half that I'd pay off in 5 months, I don't give a crap about your bull crap. Yeah, everybody says that, and they say they're going to pay off a 30-year mortgage like it's a 15. Very, very few people do that because they are dumb. So let's see what we got coming up here. Oh, the after show tomorrow morning. I'll give the schedule shortly. But after show tomorrow morning, 11:07 a.m. Eastern Time. One of a rare after show these days. Funny CT Girl, Connecticut. Debt free, great. Dates don't matter anymore. I realized this morning as I'm looking at the calendar that since everything is paid off, dates don't really mean anything anymore. I don't have to worry about due dates. Yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, you kind of do unless you have your like electric bill and stuff like that automated. You kind of still do, but it's not as worrisome as for debt. That's for sure. The only dates that matter are my pay dates. Yeah, it's awesome. Been debt free for 8 months now, but didn't realize this until today. It's so freeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. The debt free flair. Highly recommend being debt free. Vintage bitch 476. Yeah, bitch. Magnets. It's a reference to Breaking Bad. Excellent TV show. One of the finest ever. Do they share your name if you get on the show? If you want, they can. They don't do the last name. They do the first name. But they will change it for you if you, and also your city. That's what they say. First name and city, but they will change both for you if you ask them to. Or once they hear your question, they may suggest that the screener may suggest that they do that or not. So but I'll read this whole thing tomorrow morning. Longer form Ramsey content. Some colleagues love to hear more. Yeah, some people do. Some people like to have the follow-ups and stuff like that. And Jade, I don't know if it's still ongoing, but she did have a show where they did that. Where they took, I think it was, they took people that were going to call and they just talked to them separately and it wasn't on the show. And so they saved basically the call portion and the updates for the show. And so I would imagine if it did great, they'd still be happening. I don't know if they still are though. I haven't seen any like that, like none have come up on my YouTube front page, for example. To pause or not to pause 401k, that would not be to pay, or yeah, you should, to pay a baby step 2 debt. Yes, and you see, so what you do here, very quickly, is to, if you have debt and stuff like that, you're obviously doing it wrong if you have debt, but the way you're doing things, if it does not match up to the baby steps, once you decide to follow the Ramsey advice, then guess what? You change your little life so that it matches the baby steps. For example, the debt, then you don't do that. You don't do debt at all. You don't buy anything else on debt, and you pay off the dumbass debt you have already. And what made me think of that? Oh, the 401k, yeah. So baby steps, guess what? If you have debt, you wouldn't be investing at all on the baby steps. So that means if you are investing in retirement at all, but you're on step 2, guess what you do? You stop that. And you put all that money to the debt. Steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time. And only after all 3 of those are done, then do you invest a single penny. You don't do that on step 1, 2, and 3, which are one at a time without even thinking about higher steps. Because people start thinking about higher steps, like investing, and then they think they want to do them at the same time as paying off debt. And that just makes it take longer to get through the baby steps. And handling investments and debt. You don't have any non-retirement investment. You stop, as I just said, you stop retirement investing and you liquidate all the other investments to pay off your dumb ass debt. So that's a little look ahead to those questions that we'll be talking about on the Ramsey Show After Show tomorrow. Alrighty, once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes, you would like to schedule a free appointment with me, a consultation, if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can do that by emailing me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. My schedule changes too much to use a website. I used to use Calendly, but I can't be bothered to update it every single week. Email coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Also, the opportunity for overtime, so it can change last minute. Donations can go to paypal.me/CoachSteveMoney, to Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney, or a Walmart gift card to that same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, as I said, the Ramsey Show After Show tomorrow morning. That is 11:07 a.m. Might be a little bit sooner than 11:07 whenever the Ramsey Show is over, Eastern Time. Monday, June 23rd, that's tomorrow, and Tuesday, June 24th. And that's the only after shows I can do. Answering your financial questions streams that are 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Possibly Thursday, maybe not. I might have to take care of something Thursday evening, June 26th, but there will be one on Friday, June 27th. And my schedule only goes to Friday. It's a weird Saturday to Friday scheduling. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and comment, rather. And as always, like it says under my logo here, thanks again to CP. Make smart financial decisions every day.